in the interest of Aiden and Juan Chavez. We're here today on a review hearing.
Lauren Lacerda on behalf of the mother, Anayeli Chavez, Your Honor. We're both present and ready.
Vince Noack on behalf of Efren Morales, an unknown alleged father. I'm present. My client is not. I have had no contact with him, Judge. Thank you.
Brooks Barfield for Juan Herrera, also an unknown father. And again, I have had no contact with this gentleman, but I am present and ready to proceed.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of the boys.
All right. So beginning with Juan Chavez, he's doing very well in his placement. He's happy, healthy with the structure and the care that he's been receiving. He's very well bonded to his brother and to his foster family. There are no issues or concerns. As for Aiden Tapia Chavez, he is 11 months old. He is healthy, happy, also doing very well. He's thriving in his environment, also very bonded with his brother and his foster family. The children do have virtual visits with their mother. The visits are split up into half-hour increments because of the children's age and their attention spans. These visits are done weekly, and they happen at the end of the week on Thursdays and Fridays. The virtual visits have gone well. The department had set up a schedule for the children's mother, Anayeli, to visit with the children in person on both November 6th and November 7th. Ms. Chavez canceled those visits. And then another one was scheduled for November 21st for her to see the children in person. Anayeli canceled again, and she reported that her transportation had concerns traveling up into the Panhandle area of the state. Anayeli has not seen the children in person since May. That was the last time she saw them in person, when she was traveling through, and the previous caseworker set up an appointment and visit for them. Anayeli has been attending the visits regularly. As for Anayeli, she needs to do a psychosocial evaluation and address any situations of domestic violence during those sessions. We have encountered some issues with the providers in the Houston area where they do not always have, or they have not had, a bilingual counselor or therapist or an interpretation process for that. And those were from the providers that were given to us by the LPS worker that is working with Anayeli in Houston. We have found another provider that is from the Panhandle area and does do virtual and is bilingual. And we are working on that to contract that, to have that set up for Anayeli. Recently, Anayeli reported that she had relocated again. We were unable to do a home assessment on her as you had ordered, Your Honor, just because she had moved. So when the LPS worker talked to her about it, Anayeli rescheduled her visits for her to go and assess the home after she had moved. This assessment was finally completed on the 8th of December. The LPS worker did send a report, or did enter a report as far as what the conditions of the home were. It was reported to be a 2-bedroom trailer. Only one of the bedrooms was actually had furnishings. It had a toddler bed and a crib for the children. The second bedroom in the home did not have any furnishings, did not have any beds. The LPS worker did ask Anayeli how the sleeping arrangement would be, as Anayeli reported that she had 2 cousins that were going to be living with her. The LPS worker did ask Anayeli how the sleeping arrangements would be, as there were no beds or there was no signs of furnishings in the home. Anayeli said that they were using air mattresses at the time to sleep on. As for the rest of the conditions of the home was clean, did have running utilities, did have food.
The cousins have not moved in yet?
The cousins were living there. The cousins were not present when the LPS worker was had scheduled for the meeting. The LPS worker did address this with Anayeli. Anayeli stated that they were not able to take the day off to be present. So they were not
Okay.
able to be interviewed. Anayeli did report that the cousins are also undocumented.
Mr. Reddia, is it your understanding the transportation issues with mom, or is it these cousins that were going to help transport, or was it somebody else? Do you know?
No, sir, it was somebody else. Another, just another acquaintance.
Okay.
So we're about where we were at our last hearing, truthfully. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, Your
Yes,
Honor.
yes, ma'am, Your Honor. We, at the last, when we were hoping to be reunited by this time, or at least trying to get the children placed with mom. I believe the court order does advise us to try to do as much in-person visits as we could between now and then. Those fell through due to the transportation issues. And then I think mom moved, my understanding, sometime middle of November. So kind of a few weeks after those visits were supposed to happen, or around the time those visits were to happen, then mom had to move out into this new place, and we were just able to see that this week. So we are still kind of in the same spot. Mom's moved again on us. We got a spot, and everybody in the home is appropriate, or at least meet those people.
Well, and what about our finances? That was another area of concern that I wanted us to look at.
She continues to work at the same food truck, Your Honor. Her finances have not changed either.
I mean, do we think she can provide for the children?
She, as far as paying her rent now, she relies on her cousins that are going to be living with her to be able to pay for that. Independently, she isn't capable of it.
Mr. Reddy, have you gotten any pay stubs or bank statements or anything showing what she makes and what her actual income is on that?
No, sir. The only thing I had received notarized letter that from her employer that she was employed there, but they did not provide any type of financial information.
Has mom advised you of what she makes or what her bring home is, or have y'all?
No, she has not. The only thing she reported early on was that it varies.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, Daniel, but I believe Miss Chavez will be able to answer a lot of those questions for the court.
Okay. Okay, well. Mr. Herrera, anything else really to report?
No,
Okay. All right, then, Ms. Lacerda, do you have any questions for Mr. Herrera?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. Mr. Reddia, how long have you been on the case?
approximately since August of
Since August.
2025.
Okay, and then did the department, is it a different LPS worker that's now dealing with Anayeli, or is it the same one that she's had the whole time she's been in Houston?
This is the same one she's had the whole time.
Okay, so that LPS worker visited with Anayeli and her two cousins at the previous home. Isn't
No,
that your
ma'am.
understanding?
No, she was not able to with her at the previous home. Anayeli had canceled the visits, and the LPS worker had alerted her or informed her that she needed to assess the home environment and see who else was living there. That
Okay.
was when Anayeli reported that they needed to move out because they were now being asked for documentation to be able to sign on the lease. I guess the landlord was asking for whom to be living when previously they had not had an issue.
Okay, and let me ask you this. I read in the report that y'all want to be able to, I guess, what is it the department needs to do? Just visit with those cousins and see who they are? Because we're kind of back to the same situation we were, and I know you weren't involved in the case, as far as background checks and things like that, with their status, their legal status, I don't see how that's going to work. And I think the judge is aware of that because that was an issue at the beginning of the case. So what is it? The LPS worker wants to go visit with them, and what else is it that the department needs?
The department needs to see who all is actually living in the home. We
Okay.
need to determine whether they are appropriate. And we need to, at the baseline, have some type of identification as far as them presenting themselves and who they are.
Okay.
Anytime that, when this came up initially, Anayeli did not report exactly who the people were that she was living with when she was living in New Mexico.
Okay,
When
hold up,
she-
hold up, Mr. Reddia. I understand that. I'm talking about, she's been, it's my understanding she's been in Houston since June.
July.
Or June, July.
July was when she reported that she'd moved to Houston.
Okay, and so, and she's reported to the court and she's testified that she lives with 2 cousins. Okay, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if you were at the last hearing or who was here for the last hearing. So, is it possible then that the LPS worker can coordinate with Anayeli and give them advance notice so that her cousins can ask off from work so that they can be at the home? Or can the LPS worker go visit them at their work? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out how we can get this moving forward.
Anayeli had been giving advance notice. It wasn't an unscheduled visit. Anayeli
understand that.
rescheduled the visits.
Okay, my question is, Mr. Reddia, going forward, could we set it up, arrange it with the LPS worker for I don't know, I don't know if they could do it on a Sunday or something when the cousins don't work. My concern is when folks have the legal status they have, it's very difficult for them to get off work. So I don't know if the LPS worker can go to their job. I'm not sure what we can do here. So I just wanted, before we leave here today, I want to see what the department wants.
I can coordinate that with the LPS worker as far as her making arrangements. They just have to be available.
Okay. All right. And besides that, what else is, an issue that we need, that Anayeli needs to take care of before the department will look to placing the kids back with her?
We'd like to have at the least a psychosocial evaluation to see how she is operating
Okay.
as
And
far
let
as
me
her
ask
mental
you,
capacities.
all right, and sorry to interrupt. You stated that there's been issues, getting the psychosocial set up, because of, I guess, the language barrier. But she's in Houston. It's my understanding there's a lot of Hispanic folks there that speak Spanish. And so I don't know why, in 5 or 6 months, why that hasn't been able to, to find somebody, or now that y'all found somebody here that can do it. I guess I'm not understanding what the delay was.
When I took it over in August, that's when those situations were presented to me. So I can't speak for whatever was done before.
Okay.
But as far as finding a provider for Anayeli, we have worked on that, or the LPS worker had worked on that. And again, the providers that they had recommended are not bilingual.
Okay. All right. And so who is it that y'all have found to help her now?
Though I don't have it annotated on my notes. I apologize for that. I can send you a copy of that for who we found. The other thing that we would need for Anayeli is we need to have a care plan as far as who is going to be taking care of these children. If she's going to need to be working daily, who's going to take care of them? The other thing is that Anayeli does not have transportation. She relies on other people to drive her to and from. If the children have medical visits or therapies, there needs to be someone that is capable and able to do those things, and she needs to provide that as well.
Okay, but if she's working and she has a phone, then she could possibly, I don't know, maybe set up Uber or things like that, because you'd agree with me that there are many folks involved in CPS cases that don't have transportation, but they're able to take care of their kids and get them to medical appointments.
That is
Right?
correct.
Okay, all right then. And as far as a plan, have you set up a Zoom visit or a telephone visit with Anayeli and asked her, hey, when these kids are returned to you, who's going to watch them for you? Has anybody, the LPS worker or yourself, done that?
I had asked her that when we've had our phone conversations, And
Okay.
when we've gone over how her visits and things are going, I have asked her that, and her answers are usually that she's going to rely on somebody to take her to and from.
Okay. But as far as her visits, she's been consistent in her visits, and she interacts with her children, and the lady that supervises the visits hasn't expressed any concerns. Isn't that correct?
The interactions are minimal. They're basically her complimenting the children, how handsome they are and how much they've grown. But
Okay.
as far as any type of connectivity, as far as like singing to them or maybe reading stories to them or telling them stories, there's not anything of that value in those visits.
Okay, and
There-
how many of those visits have you supervised supervised, Mr. Reddia?
I haven't supervised any of the visits, and the notes that I get from the supervisor, from the monitor, have been very minimal as far as detail goes. They are almost the same every week.
Okay, let me
So
ask you this. Let
many
me
of the
ask you this.
reports I do get are from the foster
wait.
parents who are there.
You all are, hang on a minute. You guys are talking all over each other. So if you're going to ask him a question, let him answer it. And so let's start over, because I don't know how in the world Ms. Taylor could have gotten that last question and answer.
And I apologize, Your Honor. Mr. Heredia, is Wanda Morales, is she the one that supervises those visits?
Yes.
Okay, and you see her on screen today. So I'll move on from that, Your Honor. I'll go ahead and pass the witness.
Okay, Mr. Barfield, do you have any questions for Mr. Heredia?
Just a couple, Your Honor. Mr. Reddia, have you had any contact with Juan Herrera?
No, sir.
Okay. Has anyone provided the department, to your knowledge, any information as to how someone might find or contact Mr. Herrera?
No, sir.
Do you have any indication? The notes that I have indicate that Mr. Herrera might be in Mexico. Is that the same information you have?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And would you do me a favor, if for some reason we do find some contact information from the department standpoint, would you mind emailing that information to me?
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it, Mr. Heredia. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Noack, do you have any questions for Mr. Heredia?
Thank you, Judge. And briefly, sir, I pretty much have the same questions that Brooks had. Have you had any contact with Efren Morales?
No, sir.
Okay. What efforts has St. Francis or the department made to locate Mr. Morales?
The department had reached out to the Mexican consulate to try and get any information as far as with the name that had been provided for him, to see if there was any records of him. And there was no information received back in regard to him.
Thank you so much, sir. If he pops up on your radar, would you shoot me an email, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Judge. I'll pass this witness.
Okay, Ms. Zavala, do you have any questions?
No questions for this witness.
Okay. All right. I would like very much to hear from Ms. Morales about what she can tell us, or if she can fill any of the gaps in for us. Ms. Morales, do you mind to unmute?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. All right, Ms. Morales, if you'll raise your right hand for me. All right, you promise to tell the truth today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I'm going to let you just tell me what you know, and then if any of them have questions, they can ask it.
Yes, ma'am. So I have been the one supervising Miss Anayeli's visitation virtually with the two young kids since June. Her visits, usually the first thing she does is normally ask about the kids' well-being, behaviors. At the time her kids were in daycare, Juan would present some type of behavioral issues that foster parents were assuming that he was maybe picking up from school. But she would always ask about how they're doing with their therapies. The Juan Chavez surgery for ear, nose, and throat to put some tubing in his ears. Mom was, before 3 months prior to the actual surgery, she really was insisting and wanted to be present and wanted to be there for his surgery. I'm not sure why that never transpired, but with time, when we were told about his appointment, And the surgery, we constantly were requesting that she was interested in being present for that surgery. She's always asking about their updates medically. We were made aware that, a couple of dentist appointment. Aiden has just grew in a couple of teeth from their physical therapy. Just overall, she's always checking on their, not just their, how they're doing at the home, but overall their medical status, behavior, how they're doing with their therapy, and all those important things.
Okay, so she's appropriate in the visits.
Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
agree that virtual visits with children of this age are difficult.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, but do you have any other information about her home or anything else?
As far as her home, no, ma'am. I don't
Okay.
know any information.
All right. Okay, anybody have any questions for Ms. Morales?
I have
do,
a
Your Honor.
question, Your Honor.
Okay,
Oh,
all right, Ms.
Go
Lacerda,
ahead,
go ahead.
Lauren.
Okay. Ms. Morales, thanks for being here, but you stated that, she does, Anayeli checks up on the kids, how they're doing in the home, how they're doing medically. Does she interact with the kids? Does she try to talk with them, or how do the visits go just with their interactions?
Yes, ma'am. So she gets 30 minutes. The whole 30 minutes, she's always talking to the kids, engaging in conversation, watching them eat, telling them, speaking to them in Spanish. She praises them. She encourages them, especially Juan, who's a little more older and just starting to get at the age where he's understanding a couple of things. So just praising them. He's constantly giving his brother hugs, or sometimes he went a rough place. So even in that, she's always redirecting him and telling him like, hey, we're nice to brother, we hug brother, we love brother. She asks Juan if he can give the brother a kiss, a hug, things like that. But throughout the whole visit, she does engage. I would say it's really rare that she takes long pauses or break with her visit with her kids.
And when you see the kids, and I know it's difficult virtually, but do they know who their mom is? Do they know who she is?
Yes, ma'am, especially Juan. He does recognize his mom. He sometimes take the phone from foster parents and he'll look at her and he'll hug the phone, or sometimes he kisses on the phone. They'll tell her to say te amo, which means I love you in Spanish. And Juan usually says is things like that.
So again, no concerns with the visits that you've seen?
No.
All right, I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, and I think Ms. Zavala had some questions.
That covered most of it. The reports that I'm hearing, it sounds like she's asking about all the appropriate stuff. But what I'm being told is that, Juan will kind of say hi, and that she talks with you, and probably to get all of this information, which again is very important. But that there's no real back and forth interaction, that it's basically Juan saying hi and that's it. Is there any way that she could be reading, singing, kind of doing a Miss Rachel thing? I know it is really hard at that age. I mean, I get that. But what I'm concerned about is these kids knowing her, and they are so little, and it's hard to do online. But what I'm hearing is the same thing, is that there's not much interaction between them. Is that what you're seeing?
No, so I would like to clarify. She does do these like little rhymes in Spanish to the kids, and trying to make conversation. The truth though is that they're easily distracted. Foster parents always have something that's distracting them, having them with toys in their hand, rolling a ball. They're usually doing the physical play, or have them eating and whatnot. So it does make it a little harder for them to have more of a one-on-one connection when they're kind of a bit of a distraction instead of putting the phone more towards them to pay attention. Sometimes they will try to, like the last few minutes, kind of put the phone towards them to say bye to mom and acknowledge mom. But mom does usually try to get their attention, and she'll tell them little rhymes and things like that. She does try to get their attention as much as she can, as within the distraction that's maybe going on in their environment in front of them.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Morales, have you tried to intervene with foster parents and tell them that you need them to distract less and try to direct the children's attention to the device that they're on?
No, ma'am, just because I see the moms always trying to make the effort to, just voluntarily get their attention. And I feel like maybe that would help them to kind of turn their attention to her when she is trying to make the effort, just so that they can, on their own free will, try to gain her attention when she is asking for it.
Well, I mean, nobody's suggesting foster parents are intentionally trying to interfere with this process.
I wouldn't say that. I think that they're trying to help in their own way to, have them to do something because they are little, and at that age, their attention is all over the place. And I know that realistically, they're not just going to sit there for 30 minutes and talk to mom and just engage in that whole time with mom.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have any questions for Ms. Morales? Because we're really behind and we're going to have to move on.
No, Your Honor, I think everything I was going to ask was already asked.
No questions.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. I don't know what else to do other than we keep trying to work our way through this situation. I mean, I extended the case at the last hearing, so, we've got till June, but, Ms. Chavez is going to have to, and her roommates, are going to have to, they're going to have to meet with these people if that's going to be her living arrangement. And, we just need to see that she's going to be able to take care of the children, and whether that's from a financial standpoint, what's childcare going to be, if she's working, and she's going to need to work, obviously. So I don't know. We've got some more time to try to figure it out, but I just can't see that there's anything else that we can do right now except continue to work through it.
I know we're running short on.
I think I made it really clear at the last hearing, I'm way more concerned about the basics of life than I am about lots of counseling and therapy in this case. I'm way more concerned about, can mom provide food, clothing, shelter, and care for the children? That's what I want to hear about. So, when we get together again in April, I hope we've got a little more detail about what that looks like.
In Your Honor, like I said, I know that we're running behind, but I've been in contact with Ms. Chavez, and she's advised me of her income, what her plans are going forward. I had sent out exhibits, photos 1 through 10 for mom that shows where she's living, the setup. Yeah, they may be sleeping on the floor on pallets, but the kids do have a place. She has a plan in place, Your Honor. I guess I don't know where the miscommunication happened between her and the department, or what's going on there.
I'm looking, I don't think, just a minute, hang on. Has everybody looked at her exhibits?
Yes, ma'am, I looked at them. I received them.
Yes, Judge.
And
Okay, I'm looking through them.
And Mr. Reddia had sent me the report from the LPS worker when she went and saw the house on Monday. I did forward that to Ms. Zavala and Ms. Lacerda this morning. The pictures were not attached to that report, but Ms. Lacerda sent these this morning. One of the main concerns, of course, what we've already discussed, Your Honor, we were looking to try to get the kids back with mom in New Mexico. Then she moved to Houston. We had the hearing. We were supposed to be seeing the apartment and get all that background and home study run on that place. And then mom had to move again due to the landlord's situation. So there may be a little miscommunication here and there, but a lot of it is getting the stability and being able to get mom to stay in one place so we can get all this taken care of.
Your Honor, I understand that, but, I believe she's doing the best she can. When folks have the status that they have, it's not the same as it is for most of us here on the screen. You know, I think that she's doing the best with what she can. She's working, she has a job, she has a place for her children. The photos show that there's food, there's a place for the children to sleep. She, you know, unfortunately, the main issue was, you know, her traveling here. You know, when CPS became involved in the case, she was just passing through Amarillo, so she doesn't have anybody here. So, I mean, not even friends or anybody who she could live with. So again, I think she's done as much as she possibly can and continues to do that. And so she just, you know, wants to be able to have her kids back with her.
And
And
listen, I'm on the edge of sending them so we can monitor, but you know, we got to know who's in the home.
I understand.
I don't care whether they're documented. That's never stopped me from placing children. But I do care about how she's going to provide for them and what childcare is going to be when she's at work. Who's going to be looking after the kids? So anyway, we got some more questions to answer, but that's why I'm saying come April, you know, I mean, I'd really love to get the kids home before that. And, but I'm not getting the answers to everything I need to have right now. So,
Well, Your Honor, and I know again, we're running behind. I mean, is it that she could provide that information, like of her plan? I can meet with her and the LPS worker can meet the client, her cousins, and she can, I guess, maybe I can help her type up a plan to where, you know, what her plan is for the children when she works and what her cousin's schedules are.
I mean, that'd all be helpful. And I can have Miss Katie see if we can't get a hearing sometime, say in February. And see, you know, if we've got a complete plan at that point in time.
Okay.
And if we've been able to talk to whoever else is in the home.
Okay.
So let's let her see if we can't get a date.
Would February 12th work?
$9 o'clock docket.
Yes.
Mr. Barfield, Mr. Noack, if it doesn't really work for you, you guys don't really have a dog in this fight at this point. So I would excuse your appearance if.
Thank you, Judge. I'll appear if I'm not conflicted out for sure, but I agree with the court's assessment.
Likewise.
Okay. All right, then. That's all I really know to do. So today I'm going to continue the department as temporary managing conservator. We'll continue placement. I find there'd be a continuing danger to return the child to any of the parents at this time. Mom, I think, is complying with her service plan the best that she can and the best that we've been able to provide to her. Let's just all add that in the mix. I mean, it's just been incredibly frustrating how long it's taken us to get some of these things done. When she was in Mexico, it's always harder out of state, but you know, Houston, Texas, it just blows my mind that we've had to come back to Amarillo to find a bilingual provider, but that's not any of your fault. So, I'll see you back February 12th of 2026. We'll have another review hearing. We'll see where we're at and see if Mom can get us, you know, Ms. Lacerda, a written plan obviously would be great.
Thank you.
So, okay. I'll see y'all then. The final
Thank you.
is set for June 16th of 2026. I did grant the extension. So what's the new dismissal date?
it's June 19th.
Okay, June 19th, 2026, new dismissal date.
And Mr.
All right, I
Reddia-
appreciate y'all.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Reddia, if you would get with the LPS worker, try to get a date with Mom to where cousins can be available on a day off. And then if you can, I know Ms. Lucero is going to help try to get us a written out plan. But while the LPS worker's there, if she can get a written out plan to those questions on childcare and the job, see if we can get something on the income so that we can, that. But try to get that done as quickly as we can.
So we'll try that again.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
All right, thank y'all.
Judge,
We are here today for a review hearing. The court previously considered an extension request in the case, and I had indicated to everybody that I would grant that under a finding of extraordinary circumstances to continue the case. We are live streaming, and Ms. Taylor's making our record. Okay, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Daniel Trial for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Stephanie Corbett is the permanency specialist. We were present, ready, Your Honor.
Brooks Barfield for Anna Calderon, present and ready.
Savannah Kincaid, I represent Mr. Rodriguez. I've not had contact with him, but I'm present.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of Haiti.
All right, thank y'all. Okay, Ms. Corbett, if you will, please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear that you'll tell the truth today. What's the update for us this morning?
So Haiti got to go home the week of Thanksgiving, and spent the week with Anna in Amarillo. The visit went really well. She's made a lot of progress on her behaviors. She still struggles with some marijuana use, but she is doing some drug classes. Haiti and her mother, Anna, are ready for her to come home. I have also talked to the father. I have to use someone who can speak Spanish. She's living in Mexico. I have been in communication with him. I've sent him the link as well. And I have a trip request put in for Haiti to come home over a winter break.
Ms. Corbett, they working through some family therapy.
Well,
How's,
I had a really hard time finding anyone who would do just family therapy and virtually without making Haiti do other services. But Haiti's therapist volunteered to do it, and I believe she's done at least 2.
okay. And to your knowledge, that's going fine right now?
Yes.
Okay. Just trying to work, see how the Christmas visit goes, and then we're gonna slowly start working to a reunification plan to try to get her home.
Well, my plan was to place her on winter break.
Okay, so if you let her come home, if the visit goes well, she'll stay there and be placed with mom at that time?
Yes.
Okay, all right. In your communications with Dad, has he mentioned any interest in working with us or being a part of the case? I know you said you sent him the link, but is he showing any interest or cooperating, or have you just had some contact?
He asked about Haiti and stuff. It's hard to find services where, he's at in Mexico. He says he has not been a part of Haiti's life in a really long time. He doesn't want Haiti with him because it's where he lives. He says it's not a good place for kids.
Okay. Have you sent that contact information to Ms. Kincaid?
It's just through the WhatsApp, but I can send her the number.
Okay, yeah, if you would get that to her so she can try to reach out to him.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other updates, concerns you think the court needs to know about?
No.
Everything's going well, and hopefully we'll be able to get Haiti back Christmas and then work toward getting out of the case at that point.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Barfield, any questions?
Not based on that report, Your Honor.
Good. Ms. Kincaid, any questions?
No updates for me, Your Honor. If I could just get that number, contact or attempt to make contact with my client, that'd be helpful.
Okay. Certainly. All right, Ms. Zavala, any questions for Ms. Corbett?
No, no questions at this time.
All right. Ms. Barfield, do you have anything else to report today?
I do not. Everything seems to be going well. I have no other witnesses and I will rest.
All right, sir. Ms. Kincaid, anything else?
Nothing today, Your Honor. I rest.
Okay, Ms. Zavala.
Your Honor, Haiti's placement missed our scheduled visit, but I do know from previous visits with her, what she ultimately wants is to be home with mom. It sounds like that Thanksgiving visit went really well. I'm excited about her coming back. I think she has made a lot of progress. And I know this is what she wants to see happen. So I really hope it all goes well.
All right, then I'm on
Um,
board. I mean, our last hearing, I'd indicated that I would really like to see her home, by Christmas or at Christmas. So sounds like we're in the right direction.
And Judge, if Ms. Corbett could ask her real quick, when is that visit scheduled to happen for over the break? What time? When are y'all
I
looking?
put in a transportation request for the 22nd, but usually transportation doesn't let me know if they confirmation until like a few days before.
Okay. So we're
Um,
looking to have her home on the 22nd, 23rd?
Yes.
Okay.
If
Thank
it changes or transportation needs to move it or something, I'll send an email to everyone.
Okay. All right. And stay in touch with Ms. Calderon on that.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
And Judge, I have a new dismissal date on this,
Okay.
for June 26th of 2026.
All right. Appreciate it. Okay. Then today we're going to continue the department as temporary managing conservator, and I'm going to continue the child's placement, approve bringing her home for the Christmas visit. If all goes well, we'll officially place and start the reunification with mom. As I said earlier, I'll grant the extension based on extraordinary circumstances and set the new dismissal date of June 26th of 2026. And we will be scheduled for our next review hearing on April 9th, 2026 on a 9 o'clock docket. And our final will be scheduled for June 23rd, 2026 on a 9 o'clock docket. Hopefully we'll be out before then.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Kincaid, if you have contact with Mr. Rodriguez, critical question at this stage of the case is, does he believe he's the dad? Do we have any genetic testing issues that we need to handle in the next 6 months?
Okay.
And does he want to be adjudicated as the father? Which will make a difference what we do, when we wrap this up. Either we just dismiss and leave everybody where we found them, or we need to enter an order.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll be sure to cover that with him if I'm able to make contact.
Okay. Ms. Corbett, since you have had contact with him, would you let him know that his attorney is going to be trying to contact him and that it's really important that he respond to her?
Yes, ma'am. If I may add, sometimes he doesn't answer the first time, so you have to call twice.
Okay. He just needs to know who she is probably, and her name, and to be expecting a call.
Yes,
from
ma'am.
her?
I'll send him a message.
Okay. Are you texting by WhatsApp or are you actually
Oh.
calling?
Oh, ma'am.
I'm sorry?
I've talked to him 3 times on the phone and I've sent him text.
Okay. Do you have to use an interpreter with him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Ms. Kincaid might be easier to just message with him. I don't know.
Okay,
So-
sometimes I've got an interpreter available if I just have to schedule it ahead of time, so.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right then. Thank y'all and I'll see you back in April. Ms. Calderon, have a very Merry Christmas. I hope everything goes really well.
Feliz Navidad. Muchas gracias a todos. Gracias.
Thank you.